Welcome to the WOD Pod. Join me as I sit down with CrossFitters, fitness experts, top coaches, professional athletes, and other well-known gym goers to listen to their journey through fitness. In this week's episode, I'm joined by Jesi Moyano, a presenter for Honda Racing in the British Superbike Championship. As well as Jessie being big into her motorsport, she's also secured a position racing in the Formula Women's Nations Cup early next year. Being a fitness-based podcast, Jessie wanted to speak about being a beginner to the CrossFit world and how it's diverted her fitness journey for the better since discovering it only 9 months ago. Hello Jess, welcome to the WOD Pod.
Thank you for having me.
Third time lucky.
I know.
Finally got there. I think I cancelled twice.
And then I was late.
No, that's fine. It's probably good because we're still setting up. You're the first presenter that I've had on the podcast. So I'm kind of a bit more nervous, feeling the pressure, but I'm sure I'll be fine. Before we kick things off, how was Boomtown?
Oh my God. Insane. I have no words for what it was like. It's just such a magical experience because it's not just a music festival. It's like a living, acting area. There's actors that just live in this little town, and then you can go up to them, ask them questions. They send you on quests. So and then you get Boomtown money in exchange for it. It's great.
I never knew this. It sounds crazy because I've never been, but I've seen loads of people going there because I like drum and bass anyway. But it doesn't sound like a normal music festival. It's
far from it. So you've got so midday until about 8 o'clock at night, you've got the actors that are out. But most of the time, we actually missed going to the acting shenanigans because there was always a really sick DJ on. So
then you're just there. Yeah. Was it your first time?
First time at Boomtown. I've already.
You've already booked the tickets.
Yeah.
Booked the date off work.
Yeah. This is it. Came back and then already booked our next tickets.
Right. Okay. I might have to do it next year.
You should come.
Definitely on my
fancy
list of
dress.
Things. Okay, well I love fancy dress.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'll be there. Who's the best drum and bass artist you've seen, or who's the best there?
I tell you what, Hamdi surprised me. So I watched Hamdi. He's 19 years old, and he just does sounds like it's really whoppy drum and bass. Yeah. It's proper whompy. Yeah. It's like the unexpected drops where you think the song's going to drop into whatever tune it is, and then something else completely comes out of nowhere. But then Emmanuel was really good as well. He just it was a magical situation because he was on the main stage, and then it was the sun went from dusk till dawn, and it was just the clouds were all fluffy. And
there's always that one set that gets daylight, sunset, going dark,
and it felt like you went to a different dimension. Yeah. It was you was in a completely different setting because everything looked different. Then the lights went from different colours, and you was am I somewhere else?
I'm gonna have to go. You've sold me it straight away.
You have to come.
So off the topic of drum and bass, by the looks of things, you've got a few jobs on the go.
Yeah, you could say that.
I don't know. I'm not sure where to start with it all. So maybe start with your day job.
Yeah.
Being in pharmacy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start with that one.
Yeah. So I'm a trainee pharmacist. I've been training now for 5 years. So that day job is just working in community pharmacy. So just your local Boots or Superdrug, whatever. It's a really good job, but pharmacy is really struggling at the moment, especially community pharmacy, because there's just no funding there. And it's you're constantly trying to hold down a fort. It's you've got men down all the time, and it's just.
When did you always plan to go into that?
I actually kind of fell into pharmacy. So I originally wanted to go to Leeds University and study nutrition. I missed out by 1 grade, and I begged them to let me in, and they said no.
I thought you could at least say they said yes.
No.
Begging normally works with most things. If you just grovel, it tends to just get you places. But
groveling has got me very far in life.
Yeah, except that.
Except for Leeds Uni. But then Kiel, so I literally hung up on the phone to Leeds. They rejected me. Bradford had rejected me for a physiotherapy course. And then Kiel University rang me and was like, hi, I've seen you've got loads of experience in pharmacy. Would you like to come do the M-Pharm? I was like, the M-Pharm?
I guess that's big in that industry.
Like, yeah, so you can't be a pharmacist without doing the M-Pharm course. Okay. So yeah, then I ended up doing the M-Pharm and then picked up all of the other jobs along the way while I was at uni. Quite
a switch then to go from nearly going into physio to then diverting to pharmacy. But
but like I'd worked in pharmacy since I was like 16.
Right, okay.
So like just Saturday day job.
Okay. So you had the experience, so that's kind of why you fell into place. Okay, let's go back to your other role, which is you're presenting.
Yeah.
How long have you done it for? How did you get into it? Like, what's the story?
So, funnily enough, I actually got into it while I was at university. I had like just this thought, and you know when you have like these like existential crises, like what am I doing with my life?
Yep.
And I just realised I was like, I love talking. So what job can I do where I can just talk? And then I applied for this job to be a interviewer for like ultra white collar boxing events.
Yep.
So I was the interviewer on that, and that's where I got my first gig. So I started in boxing.
So I've done one of those.
Have you?
Boxing fights.
Yeah.
Obviously won. I actually did it with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
It started because we went back to his house after a night out, both hammered.
Yeah.
And he threw I just got my burger and he just smashed it on the floor like that. Just to annoy me.
Yeah, that'd annoy me.
Sounds like, right, I'm going to get... Because I knew he had some boxing gloves in his kitchen drawer by randomness. Went into his kitchen drawer, got the boxing gloves out. I was like, right, let's fight. This is at 4 a.m. I won on the night. He said he was just too drunk. So he said, let's actually fight seriously. I was like, okay, let's do a white collar boxing. It was all just for fun and it wasn't serious. We weren't actually trying to beat each other up.
No.
But he's a year older than me, probably 3-4 inches taller. His reach was probably 5 inches longer. He should have won.
This is the thing, they've got to match them though. Like the weight class, even though it's charity boxing and like it's a little bit more relaxed, they've still got to match them accordingly.
I don't think we'd have got put together if it was pairing, but we went to the organiser and said we want to fight each other. So then we trained to do it, and we actually built up loads of hype because it was like our friends knew both of our friends knew each other, so then it was like building the hype between us. We kind of sold like the most tickets for the night.
Interesting.
Won all 3 rounds, so I like white collar boxing because of that. I think he probably hates it. But yeah, so you just did like the presenting on the night? Or like the build up to it?
Yeah, and I got paid like mega good money. They put me up in a hotel and everything, but and then I ended up off the back of that got like scouted, so I ended up doing a few music videos and things like that, which like looking back I wish I didn't do it, but you live and you learn.
But you've got to do those sort of level
to
roles
realise,
or to just get to the way you want to get to.
I think as well it made me realise like what my morals are as well, because like some of the things, like some of the girls that were on the shoots with me, like they were on completely different like moral levels of what they'd do on a music video and what they wouldn't. So
but they're probably still doing music videos.
Yeah.
So
they are.
Maybe they found the right job at the time.
Yeah.
And you realised that was the wrong thing to be doing.
Yeah.
So then you went a different route.
But it's great because it made me realise what I did want to do.
Yeah.
And then from there I ended up getting into like all sorts of other presenting work. And now I am the presenter for the British Superbike Championship with Honda. And then I also present the Oliver's Mound road racing as well. So I've kind of gone into like motorsports presenting now.
So between doing white collar boxing and motorsport, what were the other presenting roles? Or like
motorbikes.
Okay. So
yeah, but for lower leagues.
Right. Okay. So you just worked your way up doing that.
Yeah, and then just got headhunted along the way, and then like you get known in the area for being a presenter.
So just to understand it, so like say the F1, you've got Martin Blundell, who is horrific, doing the pit lane walk, interviewing celebrities. You don't know who any of them are.
Yeah.
Is your role like similar in a sense that you'll be on the race day? Are you like walking around interviewing riders or?
Or how does it work?
So it's a different setup. Oliver's Mount Road Racing is a racetrack in Scarborough, actually, not too far away from here.
Yeah.
And it's just like a public road, and they close it for a weekend, multiple weekends over the year, for the different cups, you know.
Right, okay.
But it's absolutely crazy because there's like hardly any safety precautions. They try their best with the safety side of it, but
and this is bikes still.
This is motorbikes.
So you're literally just riding motorbikes on a road.
Yeah. Well, there was a big incident a few years ago. Somebody crashed and died, unfortunately, but that closed Oliver's Mount Road Racing for a couple of years, and then COVID hit. But the reason why they had to close it down was because they couldn't explain how it happened. So there was like a whole investigation. There was like, they didn't understand what went wrong. So that was like the hold up. But sorry, I go off tangents all the time.
So we're good.
So to go back to your question, Oliver's Mount Road Racing is more of me going around, walking in the paddock, getting to know some of the people that are riding there, because a lot of them are trying to make their way up to the bigger leagues.
Yeah.
So giving any one of those riders some screen time is highly valuable for them, for sponsors, but then it also is to promote Oliver's Mount Road Racing as well, because a lot of people aren't going anymore. A lot of young people aren't interested in motorbikes anymore, you know, so...
I don't see it that often on TV. That's the thing.
This is another issue. I think it's on Quest, but who watches Quest?
Yeah. But if you put MotoGP, I mean, if you put Superbike racing straight after on Sky Sports, after the F1, people would get into it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, it is such an exciting sport, motorbike racing.
Yeah.
It's such an exciting sport. And it's the level of detail, like this year in the British Superbike Championship, it is so, like, it's fractions of a second between first and 15th place.
And a crash is way more exciting. Well, is that the wrong word? Like, a crash is way more dangerous than an F1 crash, because you're just crashing your car into a load of tyres.
Yeah,
but
I mean...
you're flying off your bike.
This is it. They've got loads of safety precautions now. They've got like airbag leather suits, and they've got all sorts of stuff now where you are pretty safe if you do, and you've got a massive runoff. Yeah. So
they do skid for so long.
Though, it's like on ice.
And it's just like, how are you still going? Like, then you hit the gravel and then roll.
Yeah, then they get up and then you look at the levers and it's just like all ripped. It's
so bad.
Yeah.
So how did you? So go back to the Honda then. So how did you get into Honda race?
So I went to Motorcycle Live, which is like at the NEC in Birmingham,
right.
And I just walked around the stands, just saying hi to people and looking at the bikes, just as a fan, you know. And then I just went to the Honda stand, spoke to a few people there, just casually slid it in there that I was a presenter, and then got a picture with John McGuinness on his 100th start Fireblade. I don't know if the people listening to this
Probably
podcast
not, but
won't have a clue who John McGuinness is.
They'll be Googling it if they don't know now.
So he's like one of the greats of the TT racing, like one of the greats. And I got a picture of him, tagged him on my social medias with it, and then he messaged me and was like, "Oh, I heard that you was a presenter. Like, we're looking for a presenter next year. Would you be interested?" I was like, "Yes." Sign
me up. How often do you present for this? Is it a season?
So this is actually my first year with Honda.
Right, okay.
So this is my first year with Honda, and what we're creating it is a video vlog diaries on YouTube. So it's basically looking into the team and what goes behind running a superbike team, the logistics of it, what goes on, the results, what they need to change, all those kind of things. And I co-present it with a guy called Chad, and it's like a 6 video diary entry series, but
that's cool.
It's on YouTube. It's called Beyond the Blade.
Yep. Got to be. When did you get into, when did you first get into motorsport?
So from a young age, my dad used to watch it, and then obviously you get to an age, and then I was like, oh, I'm bored of it now.
Yeah.
And then I just recently got into MotoGP because I just saw it on TV, and that's it. But I'm one of the only friends in my friendship group that is into motorsport, so it's quite hard to find like-minded people that are also young females.
Yeah, definitely. Do you, in fact, where is the nearest MotoGP circuit from here?
Silverstone. So
is that the only one
near Oxford? Yeah, they only do Silverstone.
Right. Okay. And then apart from that, they're around Europe.
Yeah, all the rest of them around Europe. So I think there's like 4 races left now
Of the
season. Yeah.
And Silverstone's been, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Silverstone was 1st of August, like first weekend of August.
So
and it was raining.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's bad. Well, it depends on the team though, because some riders can really perform well.
I was going to say, at least it makes
slicks.
it interesting, because if it was just dry every circuit, you're going to get similar results.
Yeah.
So when you get a wet circuit, someone else might do better.
Yeah, this is it. And like, it depends like where the motorbike is, where the superbike is in that kind of like frame. Like you can change like the handles, you can change the fork, like you can change all these like different things on the motorbike. And
I'm so unaware of it all because I don't watch it.
Yeah.
But my level, like F1, I watch every single race, watch every qualifying. Like,
yeah.
And I know the differences. Like, I'm like getting excited about a tyre change or someone going onto softs, and I'm
what compound.
And other people are just like, mate, just watch the F1. But then if MotoGP or British Superbike was on Sky Sports, I'd be probably equally as into it.
Yeah, I mean it's on Eurosport, but it's you've got to then pay for another membership.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they need to kind of but it's all to do with sponsors and who pays and who does all the filming rights.
So do you think that's what they would need to do to get to F1 level? Is just it's like you need the people to be interested to get the sponsorship, but you need the sponsorship to get people interested.
Yeah, not necessarily though, because like I know what you mean, but like Formula One is like a category of its own.
Yep.
It's like got so much money plugged behind it, whereas like the Superbikes is a British run championship, and I don't think like they'll probably be tied into like, you know, a contract with whoever's doing the filming rights, but they pride themselves on being a British superbike. Like the computer system that they use and the electronics that they use is standardized, so every single team in the Superbike league has to use that electronic system.
Right.
Whereas you go to MotoGP, they're all on different electronic systems.
Right. Okay.
Which just basically means you can like change like the torque and things and the performance of the motorbike. And basically it's like, you know, when you have an Android phone, and on an Android phone you can kind of download like apps, like
other apps or different apps.
Whereas on an Apple you can only use the
whatever's on that store.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
Kind of like that.
Just so I get this right, is MotoGP way bigger than British Superbike?
That would be the next step up, yeah.
Okay, so your end goal is MotoGP.
Yeah, a lot of people's are, but a lot of people don't have the time, the resources, the skill. A lot of people just aren't good enough for it.
Okay.
And a lot of people, like, you need to be like riding since you was yay high to even get a chance at MotoGP.
It's like F1 as well, isn't it? Like, unless you've done it since you were a child, you're probably not going to get there.
Yeah, it's just money.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, so last year I won a racing competition, Formula Women, and I've been selected to represent Spain in this Nations Cup next year.
Is that bike or car?
Cars.
Okay.
I don't know why I was doing this.
Car.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
That's with cars.
Yep.
So, but the whole program of that competition was to get a like novice, female only riders in to come give a go, and then see who can compete.
Where was it, and like when was the event?
It was at Bedford Autodrome.
Right. Okay.
It was last year November, and then I went through to the second heat in December, and you had to do things like go-kart assessment, sponsorship awareness, a written test of like the different flags, a fitness test, on track in a Vauxhall Astra, and then they pick out who to go through to the next round.
Okay.
So I got through to the next round, and then from there, I think it was like 1,200 applicants.
Right. Okay.
And then I was in the top 50, and then from that top 50, they was like, "Oh, we'd like you to represent Spain." So
that's mega. So
it's huge. It's going to be in the Middle East as well.
Right.
Televised, made into a series
next year.
Yeah, March next year. I don't know what else I can say. I don't think I'm allowed to say too much.
So we'll leave it there.
I know where it is and things like that, but I don't think I can say yet until they've released.
I suppose is it the first year of them doing it as well?
This is the first year, so it's all new, it's all big. It's going to be in like a Le Mans style race, So do you know what Le Mans is?
Yeah.
So it's like a 24-hour endurance
overnight
race. Yeah, where you work in like a team. So I'll have a teammate.
So will the other teammate be female or male? Or
female, all female.
So that's the idea of it, is to get women into
motorsports. Yeah.
Cool. So that might be on TV.
Yes, it will be. It's going to be televised.
Nice.
So
I'll be watching that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If I get there though, training's not going very well because like you need to get sponsors.
Right. Okay.
Because it's like for a weekend of driving. It's like $3,000.
Right. Okay.
For like the car hire, tuition, track hire, tires, fuel.
It's one of those where it's like you've been selected, but you now have to go and pay for it all.
Yeah.
And it's like that in lots of, well, it's not like that in sports, but it's like that in things like the CrossFit Games. You can get to CrossFit Games, you still got to pay for your entire trip there and your accommodation and to enter.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's frustrating.
Free,
Nothing's free now. But I think you should do it.
Yeah, I need to. I just need to find like a sponsor. It's just reaching out.
It ties in well with what you're doing with Honda. Because
it does, but I feel like a bit of shade to ask them because, like, obviously it's like from
two
wheels to four wheels.
Yeah, I mean, to a car.
They're in the F1, like it's a Honda engine that's in Red Bull, so
it's the same thing.
Yeah, Honda, if you're watching.
Yeah, this is the chance. What's the car like? I'm trying to visualize what you.
So they don't actually know yet. So they don't know whether they're going to stick to petrol or go fully electric or go hybrid.
Will it be like a Formula 1, Formula 2, 3 style car, or will it be like an actual car?
They don't know yet.
Right,
so I think it might be like a GT Cup car.
Yeah.
But it's just if they do fully electric, it's going to be a bit. You know.
Especially when you put your foot down and it's just silent.
Yeah, it's like
it doesn't sound great on TV, does it?
Yeah,
I can believe how loud F1 cars are.
Yeah.
So you can't really understand it on TV because they obviously don't have it blasting and you can't hear the commentator. But when I was at Silverstone, it was like so loud.
Yeah, it's mad.
So, yeah, it'll be a bit of a different experience if it's electric.
Yeah, you'd be like, woo.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be looking out for you on TV in March time.
Yeah, I'll be sure to tell you about it.
Let's move on to a different topic. We're going to talk about your Miss England finalist.
Yeah.
Yes, tell me about it. How was the experience from the beginning? Like, how did you get into it?
So I got headhunted to compete in this Miss England pageant competition.
Yep.
So I was like, if someone comes up to you and you're like, oh my God, that's great.
Why wouldn't you go for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
This was 2 years ago. So it was in my last year of
21.
uni.
Yeah.
Was it? No, I think it was last year.
So it's in between, it was after COVID basically?
No, it was before COVID.
Oh, okay.
Or was it after? No, it was after COVID. Yeah. No, I was in my last uni house. It was after COVID. So last year was last year.
Yeah.
I'm getting my years muddled up. So, so I was in this competition, got through to the semi-finals, and, you think you're in such a prestigious beauty pageant competition. And, it just wasn't all.
Wasn't as you thought it would be?
No, not at all.
What was the criteria to enter?
So,
or like what?
You had to be a certain height. You couldn't be any higher than 6 foot.
Couldn't be.
No.
Right. Okay.
You couldn't be any higher than 6 foot. And then you just had to go through loads of rounds, like charity round, no makeup round, intelligent round, talent round, like all these different things. But I don't know how to explain it. So
you wouldn't enter again?
Absolutely not. Well,
okay.
I didn't enter. I got headhunted, and then I did a few other bits and bobs, and then entered the next heat, and then got to the final, which was great. But then I ended up dropping out.
Okay.
Because they, as one of the rounds, you had to do a media round. So the local newspaper contacted me, gave me an interview, and then the interview I thought went really well. And the whole reason why I wanted to go in the Miss England competition was because I I wanted to inspire young females to pursue higher education because I was in my 4th year of my master's degree in pharmacy. I was in the RAF. I was working in a pharmacy while studying, you know, my degree and in the RAF. And then I was also delivering pizzas at Domino's, you know.
Pretty busy then.
And presenting on a weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
had a lot going on.
Yeah, so that's kind of the message that I wanted to portray to like young females and was inspire like a younger generation of girls to be like, you can be whatever you want to be. Like your dreams are not like dreams. Like make them your reality is fine. So yeah, and then that was exactly what I said to the reporter, and then the interview came out in the newspaper, and it was like curvy girl representing curvy girls in beauty competition.
It's like, did they not listen to anything I said? Yeah,
it was like, why like objectifying me as like a curvy woman? Why aren't you mentioning that I'm intelligent? Why aren't you mentioning that I'm working multiple jobs while studying for a degree? You know? And
it just makes you think, what's the whole purpose of doing Miss England?
It was so derogatory. Like the whole point of me doing that was to try and send a message to young girls, and instead they just wanted to focus on my body shape and that my mum died, you know.
But I think that sums up the media.
Overcomes heartbreak.
I do think the media just pick on things that will make headlines. And it's like, that's the whole issue with the media. I mean, so many celebrities now just come out with, you know, articles that are just completely fake. Because they know what people want to see, and you just think, so corrupt.
Tabloids is like, it's absolutely horrific. And I feel like it although the experience is like really like upsetting, and it made me like spiral into like my body shape and things like that, because I was like, oh, like they're labeling me as a curvy girl. Like, am I a curvy girl? I'm a fat. Like, what are you trying to say by curvy? You know, and it was just absolutely barbaric.
What were the other girls like that entered?
Very different to me, but then the girl that won it that year, she was also called Jessica, and she was like an astrodynamic woman that worked with planes, and she was ever so intelligent. She could sing, she could do everything, and I was like, I can't do that.
At least someone won that maybe deserved to win, rather than it being someone that you thought.
She had entered for the past 3 years. They already know who the winner is, you know, like.
I do feel like these things are slightly corrupt. Like there's always something behind the scenes going on in terms of who actually wins.
For me, it wasn't for me. It wasn't my morals. It wasn't my cup of tea.
I'm sure most people listening are probably put off by it as well now, so no one's entering that competition again. Okay, let's go on to CrossFit, because I know
it's a CrossFit podcast and we've not even spoken about CrossFit yet.
Probably should do at some point. So, when did you first like hear about CrossFit?
So, really funny story. I first heard about CrossFit years ago, and I thought it was the cross trainer for years.
Right, okay.
I thought it was a cross trainer.
As in, like, you were doing the cross trainer to get fit, so it's like CrossFit.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
It makes sense, I guess. Little naive Jess. But I was on the train back from York. I went out for my birthday to the Christmas markets, and I was out with a couple of friends, and there was Luke. He's like a big gym lad, Meg and Luke.
Yeah.
Meg's not a gym lad.
Meg's not. Luke is.
Luke is. And he saw that he was like covered in chalk and he had CrossFit on him, and then he was taking the mick out of him for being a CrossFitter and not a gym boy.
Right.
So they were like bickering on the train, and he was like, I've just finished a competition in York, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, like, what's CrossFit? You know? So I ended up sitting talking to him on the train journey home, and he recommended that I go to CrossFit Barbaric in Beverley because that's closest to me. So I was like, okay, I will. So I tried it, and then I told myself, you know, I'll just give myself a month of just turning up and not thinking about how far I'm pushing myself, or thinking about what weights I'm doing, or my body image, or anything. I was like, I'll just go for a month, see if I like it,
and go from there.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of CrossFit, is it's not about anything except just making progress in lots of different aspects. Like, there's so many movements, different exercises, and the goal is just to make some progress in some of them.
Yeah.
And turn up and enjoy training.
Yeah.
And like, I've did the whole gym training, like bodybuilding, going to a commercial gym and lifting weights. And yes, you kind of enjoy it because you know that you're making some progress, but you can't really measure it. And you don't get the same like endorphin rush, or, you know, when you do like a good CrossFit workout, a really sweaty, chipper 25-minute workout, when you finish it, you feel really like satisfied with doing it. Whether doing a few dumbbell curls and walking out the gym, it just doesn't, you don't get the same sort of thing. So I think CrossFit gives you like a real reason to go to work out.
Yeah.
And it takes your mind off like how you look. That guy looks better than me. Shit, I've got, you know, you're comparing yourself to everyone.
Yeah.
But the CrossFit is just, are you better than you were last week?
I really like the fact that they don't have mirrors in the gym. Like, my CrossFit gym don't have mirrors. Like,
I don't think any CrossFit gym does.
Yeah.
None.
I went to one in Cheltenham as well, and they didn't have any mirrors. I was like,
there's not been one that I've been to that does. I think that's like the idea of it. It's not about what you look
like, aesthetics.
No, not at all.
CrossFit culture is definitely that, but I'm 9 months in now, so like I'm still very much a rookie, and I still can't do toes to bar.
Doesn't matter. But you're way closer to doing it than you were when you started.
So close. I mean, today I did like 10 unbroken times 4. So,
right, okay. So you can do them.
Well, no, knees,
okay.
Knees up.
Yeah, but you probably couldn't do that when you first started.
Exactly. So I'm so much stronger than what I was at the beginning.
And the idea is that you can do the same workout that I could, or a CrossFit Games athlete could, and you just scale it accordingly so that we all get the same out of it. Mm-hmm. So I think you'll probably stick with it for a while. I
was one of those girls. I was a gym girl, and I'd go to the gym for like 3 months, and then I'd get really bored, and then I'd stop, and then I'd be like, oh, I feel a bit frumpy, a bit sluggish, I need to do something. So I went back to the gym, and then I got bored again, because I think it was like I didn't have anything exciting, whereas CrossFit new, it's exciting every time, something different.
And there's so many skills to learn. Like,
so many.
You can master the gym in a week by just learning all the exercises, learning machines, then you know what you're doing, and you're basically repeating the same thing every time. Yeah. Whether you go to a CrossFit gym, you're probably never going to do the same workout ever again unless you wanted to test yourself. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it, is every class is varied. Exactly.
I mean, no shade to the people that do gym and like gym religiously, but I just think it's boring.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
Boring.
How has CrossFit affected your career, or like?
So I think it has actually gone hand in hand with, like, it's made me feel more comfortable presenting in front of a camera. It's made me feel like lighter, made me feel stronger. So I feel a lot more confident in front of a camera since I started CrossFit than before. I mean, even like the way I stand with a better posture, just because I look after myself better now. So it's really helped in all aspects of life, to be fair.
So in terms of like, I mean, I think CrossFit, the community is really good, and it definitely enhances your social life, because you meet anyone that's involved in that, you've immediately got something in common. Yeah. I know it's a bit of a cult, but
it is. It kind of is, but at the same time,
it's also huge now. So when I first heard of it, which was like maybe 4 years ago, the community was quite small, and it was almost like a bit weird to be in that cult. Whether now the sport's growing so fast, this CrossFit gym is opening like every day in the UK. Yeah. So you're like, maybe not every day, but quite a lot. So because it's become like very common, it's not really a cult anymore. It's just like, you just do CrossFit, and like, loads of other people do it as well.
It's like gym, isn't it?
Yeah, like, it's become like that.
CrossFit will never be the same as a gym, like no matter how big it grows, because every time you go with friends, you meet friends. But I absolutely love the CrossFit community. The friends that I've made, just like, it's like my second home. They see me more than like the friends that I usually see now.
And like, I'll just go down to my local CrossFit gym, and you can just chat to anyone really openly, before a class, after a class. Sometimes I'll be there for like an additional hour,
Yeah,
I'll look at my phone and be like, I've been here for...
Need to go.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been stood here sweating for an hour just chatting. But because everyone's really like interested in what you're doing, whether you don't get that in a commercial gym at all.
No,
you're lucky
everyone's like looking down.
Headphones on.
Yeah.
Or you're lucky if you even get someone to ask you if you finish with the dumbbells, or just take them and walk off, and you just like, it's the opposite.
It's like, I wasn't finished.
Yeah, cheers, mate. What are your goals for CrossFit this year?
Oh, okay. So goals for CrossFit this year is to do a handstand. Like, I'm slowly getting better at doing it off the wall and kind of holding it off the wall. And then I also want to do toes to bar. Toes to bar,
yeah. They come up loads in like comps as well.
Yes,
they're like such a common movement for a comp, because it's kind of like it's an intermediate exercise. So if you're in scaled, it depends how comps work, but yeah, if you can get toes to bar, it just puts you into a different boundary.
Yeah.
Handstand hold though, that's harder than a walk, I would say.
Do you think? See, so I have the mental block though. There's a really funny video on my socials of where I just
trying to do a handstand walk.
Yeah, and I just completely face planted the floor. But I think it's a fear of falling for me. So if I can hold it, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah. For me, I can handstand walk, but I struggle to hold a handstand, like say on a meter by meter mat. I almost want to, like when I lean into it, I want to then walk.
Yeah.
So
I started practicing in the swimming pool though.
Yep.
Like my handstand walking.
Yep.
You know, just in the shallow end, so I've got a bit of resistance.
So you've got some resistance, yeah. And people are probably looking around going, what is she doing?
How old is she?
Yeah. Did this when I was 10.
Yeah. I'd say, do you want to play mermaids?
Yeah. CrossFit movements, do you have any, your favourite ones, your least favourite?
My favourite ones are like the ring pull-up, but I can't do them, but I enjoy
That's what you want to do.
Practicing.
So more gymnastic stuff.
I love the gymnastic stuff. I'm so weak, but I'm building it up.
Yeah.
But I love the feeling of being like, I can
able to do it, yeah.
I can't do a press-up properly. Like, I've been 9 months now. I managed to do them when I did my RAF fitness test, you know, but I just really struggle with my press-ups. But so like just scaling them, doing them against the wall, doing them like with resistance bands and things like that on the rig, you know.
I'm hoping a lot of people watch this and think, well, you know, you started 9 months ago, but everyone should then join. I think it's like
this is, and you know what, I think it'll be quite good for you as well to have like me on the podcast for a change, because everybody that you've interviewed like are like
RX elite, going to the games,
amazing, like amazing, and they've worked for years to get there.
Whether actually that's probably the only 1% of CrossFit. CrossFit is a recreational like beginner sport. That's
everyday
what it is.
People
and it's
with
getting people moving.
Jobs,
exactly. They can turn up, do a class, enjoy it. Yeah. So you're a good advocate for that.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to move on to some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So first of all, this question is from the previous guest, John Okafor. He's a rugby player. He said, if you got £1 million tomorrow, what would be your first luxury purchase?
My first luxury purchase?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it'd probably have to be like a villa in Spain or something like that.
I mean, you're half Spanish, so it makes sense. Villa in Spain, good purchase.
Yeah.
Okay, your least favourite movement in CrossFit?
I know a lot of people will say burpees, but I actually really love them. So I'm not going to say burpees. Least favourite are the box jumps. The box jumps, because I can't quite maneuver my body.
Spin quick enough to land the other side.
Not quite got it.
Yeah. Now, there's been a workout. It was a qualifier, and I jumped straight onto the box, and my feet were just completely gone, and I just face planted.
Oh.
So then I had to upload it to the competition, and then the guys had to review it and watch it back. So they had a good laugh at that one.
And then it's all like the shin.
Yeah.
You get the
scraping your shins.
Bruises. Yeah.
What is your favourite brand of CrossFit trainers?
I'm gonna say Nike Metcons.
That's what you've got, Metcons.
Yeah.
Not got any rads yet.
Well, it's so expensive as well. So like I'm slowly like making my way through.
I suppose you're only 9 months in to stop splashing out on.
Yeah, exactly. I need a bit more time to really invest myself in the.
It took me a while to get to the stage of spending £130 on some trainers.
Yeah,
I think that's what rads are. But
when you realise, like,
but if I'm doing CrossFit for a long time now, so it's a good purchase.
Yeah.
But if Rad do want to sponsor the podcast and send me some trainers, not saying no to that.
I feel like they've got to do like marketing for people that are just getting into CrossFit, because how do you get people to stay in CrossFit? Like, I feel like the community sells CrossFit massively.
Yep.
But these brands are targeting people that are already hardcore CrossFitters. They're not targeting people that are new and
Correct.
explaining why you need these trainers.
Yep.
Because like, I didn't even know, like, I mean, it was only a few months ago that I found out. I was like, why are CrossFit trainers different to normal trainers?
Yep.
And then my friend explained, because the sponge is like bigger on the heel, so when you're doing squats it's easier. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So companies need to.
They should really, shouldn't they? Because they only just, well, I suppose for them it's like marketing makes more sense to pick people at the CrossFit Games so that way more people see it. But actually, to have some low level, intermediate, and elite athletes would make more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And good marketing.
I mean,
for them.
they could even do like a cheaper shoe for like beginners, you know, like so they don't feel like they're spending as much money, because 130 quid is really daunting for someone that's like, you know, like just taking up a new hobby.
Yep. Have you got a bag yet?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't know.
So
I literally just walk in with my protein shake, my car keys in one, and then just dump it in the corner.
So
I'm one of those. I'm a messy gymmer.
That's a 9-month CrossFitter.
Yeah.
In 2 years, you'll have it. You'll have all the stuff.
Yeah.
So, Built for Athletes, they do the best CrossFit bags. There's loads of other brands out there that do like fake Built for Athletes bags, and they just rebrand it under their own name. Built for Athletes are like the original ones. They said that they want to send you a blue new Pro Series bag.
Do they?
Yeah. I said that you coming on the podcast and you just started CrossFit. So they were like, we're going to send you one. So
I've got a new bag.
what is your favourite song for a max lift?
Badadan.
Nice.
Because it was the song of Boomtown.
I was going to say, I think I saw a TikTok and a girl she had it recorded. I think she had like 7 clips of it being played in one weekend.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Like Badadan was played a million times. Every DJ set guaranteed Badadan was in it. And the first time you heard it, we was like, whoa, what a song! Like,
by the last time you realised, like.
And then, like, yeah, you came a bit numb to it towards the end. We was just like, it's Badadan again.
It's here again.
But
still good.
The DJs did a really good set. Like, Charlie T, she did like quite a good like mix of Badadan.
I was going to say.
So it wasn't Badadan. It was like a mix up, and it's like, oh, this is a bit funky.
And actually, you think you're going to get the same thing you got last time, and then there's a different drop.
And then the drop, and it's so just then like,
which actually makes it better, because then everyone thinks they're going to hear something that they don't hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
DJing.
What
That's
about
something I'd love to do. DJing.
You're going to be doing so. You're going to be so busy.
I do too many things.
When you can be doing CrossFit, you'll be DJing, presenting, skiing.
You know what we'll be doing? I'll be DJing at the CrossFit Games whilst presenting.
Okay, that's your goal for 20. Give you 2 years.
Give me a few years to really like understand all the CrossFit movements, master my DJing skills.
Yeah, you've got to learn to DJ first.
Yeah. I'm halfway there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, is it genuine? You didn't just come out. It wasn't out of nowhere.
No.
Right, okay.
Like, I was into the DJ scene at uni. Was part of like DMK. Shout out DMK. Keele University's like social.
Yeah.
That was our drum and bass society, and I made the best friends during that, and like that's who I went to Boomtown with.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, we all just like little group of ravers.
I do think at CrossFit comps they play too much EDM and like cheesy song. Yeah, I mean, Zach Wild's good, but a lot of other DJs, they do play like, it's almost like techno EDM.
Like indie music as well, and it's like
you need drum and bass.
Heavy
you need drum and bass because it's fast. The BPM's there. Yeah. So when you're like running or you're rowing and you're max output, you're sprinting in a workout, you want drum and bass.
I feel like drum and bass and CrossFit is like a perfect marriage, holy matrimony. They need to get set up.
What's one thing that people won't know about you?
Ooh.
That's weird, interesting? That can be really bizarre. Can be like.
Okay, this is the first thing that comes into my head is that I absolutely hate it when you've got like wet splashes on a sink. I hate it. It drives me insane.
I can see why no one really knows that about you.
Yeah, and I just carry on wiping, and then like someone's like, "There's water on it." All of a sudden, I was like, "Oh."
Do you mean just like a puddle of water or a water stain?
Yes, the stain. So like someone's gone to fill up the drink.
Yeah,
and then
splashed, and they've left it, and it's
then
like
it's splashed on the draining board, and it just dries, and it just doesn't look very nice. I think that's.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question for the next guest off the podcast, obviously, otherwise they'll know. But before that, we'll end the podcast with where can people find you? So your social medias.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want to plug that at the end.
Oh, thank you. So my social media is Jesi Moyano. So it's Jesi with one S. It's a bit of a confusing one. So
Spanish surname. We're going to probably put the Instagram on the screen because then you'd have to spell it out.
Potentially so.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, it's Jesi Moyano on like Instagram. You mainly use Instagram. It's X now, isn't it? Twitter.
Yeah, X.
I don't use that really.
No.
I should.
And I don't think anyone uses Threads.
Well, I jumped on the Threads hype.
Everyone did, but then I don't think anyone's using it now.
I don't think anyone actually picks it up anymore.
No.
And then TikTok. I use TikTok, but like I just post funny videos on there.
Fine. So Instagram, put it on the screen. And if any sponsors are listening that want to jump on your car race.
Anybody that wants a female representing their brand, I can sell other services. I can sell my presenting services, bit of social media marketing, things like that. So it's a partnership, not a sponsorship, to me anyway. Yeah. But I can send you all of the details.
Sounds good. Thanks for jumping on. Anything else you want to say? Or?
No, just thank you for inviting me.
It's all right. It was good.
It's nice to have a little chat with you. And I feel like we've covered so much. But yeah, the main message that I'd want people to take away from the podcast is like that CrossFit really is welcoming for all kinds of people, all different walks of life, all different ages, all careers. Like it doesn't matter your previous history. Like if you've got a previous injury, you can work around that. You can scale a workout to yourself. Like I know it can be daunting when you first walk into a CrossFit gym. Like we've all been there, and I feel like the older you get and the longer you've done CrossFit, you become a bit like naive to the fact of how daunting it actually is, because you're so used to going all the time, whereas when you are that newbie, it's really daunting. But my advice to anybody would be just give it a go and do a month. Commit
to a month and then review it after.
And just go enjoy it, speak to people, make friends, and it'll be the best decision you've ever made. I'm gonna give you a tub of the peach wad fuel as well, because you can't be a CrossFitter without a tub of wad fuel. It's just peachy,
and it's peach flavour. It's new peach flavour. So you're walking away with some wad fuel and a new Built for Athletes bag. So you've done pretty well out of this.
I've done really well out of this. I'm gonna come again. Season 2.
Back for more CrossFit stuff.
I'll be the DJ in the background.
That's fine.
I'll do your intros, your outros.
Perfect. Heard that, Jamie? Cool. Episode done.
Lovely.
I hope you enjoyed that episode, and a huge thank you for listening. Make sure you're following the pod on Instagram at the.wad.pod, our Twitter at the_wad_pod. The podcast is sponsored by Wad Powders. That's at Wad Powders on Instagram. Please show some support to the pod by either sharing this episode with a mate or buying some supplements from wadpowders.co.uk. See you guys next week.